Hi, my name is Jonathan Davidson. I'm the founding partner of Davidson & Co Legal Consultants. We're here in Dubai, in the United Arab Emirates. I've been in Dubai for 21 years, working in private practice and also working for the Dubai government as a lawyer and legal consultant. Davidson & Co is a boutique law firm, and by boutique I mean we have 22 members of staff, and we have lawyers from common law and civil law jurisdictions, including the UK, Scotland, United Arab Emirates and Australia. Our lawyers have between them over 60 years of experience in the UAE, and we practice in a number of areas, including litigation, local litigation, conducted in Arabic and also in English, employment law in the local labour tribunal courts, and also corporate commercial, construction, private client and banking and finance. So we cover the main areas required by our clients. And also we do a lot of work for incoming investors and companies coming into Dubai, setting up corporate entities, getting visas and making sure the company's day-to-day operations are smooth and obviously compliant with local laws. I've been in Dubai as I say, for 21 years. Davidson & Co has been going for 11 years, and we service the SME, the small to medium-sized enterprise market, including high net worth expatriates with their private client work, including wills and probate and trusts, and also to help them with their day-to-day operations in the United Arab Emirates. First of all, I'd like to talk about the local court systems here in the United Arab Emirates. There are different courts in the different Emirates. Dubai has its own court system, and Abu Dhabi and the Northern Emirates have a separate court system. In Dubai, there are three levels. There's Court of First Instance, Court of Appeal, and Court of Cassation. In first instance, there is a single judge. Court of Appeal, there's a panel of 3 judges, and similarly in the Court of Cassation, there is a panel of 3 very experienced senior judges, and they're comprising local civil law jurisdictions, historically Arabic speaking, so the judges would come from Jordan or Egypt, and there are many very skilled local Emirati judges now sitting. Now, in order for expatriates and non-Arabic speakers to be able to interact with the courts and to conduct their litigation, we as a firm have a team of non-Arabic speakers, English and other European languages, and also a team of Arabists. So between our teams, we're able to provide services which bridges the gap between the local Arabic courts and also our non-Arabic speaking expatriate clients. In the courts, the way a normal set of procedures would commence would be, if you have a claim here locally, if the claim was based on a transaction which was in English, then you translate all the documents, we would collate them, and we would file the claim in the local courts. This is at the Court of First Instance. If there was a scenario where the claimant needed to freeze or attach assets or cash or bank accounts of the defendant, and they had a good case to do so, then it's possible to approach the Court of Urgent Instances and to request the judge to make an urgent application to freeze the assets of a defendant, so a defendant cannot necessarily move those assets or take cash out of the jurisdiction. Thereafter, you're placed in the court system. The first instance court cases normally take 6 to 8 months. It's quite common for a judge to appoint an expert. If it's a financial case, it would be an auditor or an accountant. If it's a construction or real estate case, it might be a construction expert or a surveyor, and so on. Once one reaches appeal, if either of the parties wish to appeal the first instance decision, they can do so. The appeal court takes 2 to 3 months and deals with questions of law and questions of evidence in a similar fashion to the first instance court, albeit that there are a panel of 3 judges, all of whom are senior local judges. There's a final level, which is the Court of Cassation, and normally the deliberations of the Court of Cassation take 2 to 3 months. The Court of Cassation can only hear points of law and points of procedure, so there's no more submission of evidence, and there is only points taken on technical or procedural anomalies. The entire process for all three levels would usually take in the region of 12 to 16 months for a relatively straightforward case. More technical cases with more expert opinions and more evidence gathering may take slightly longer, very much like common law courts. Many of our clients often ask us how the costing looks to be able to conduct local proceedings. Very much like in European jurisdictions such as the UK, where I'm from, the solicitors might charge on a fixed fee or a capped fee basis. And if we are instructing local Arabic advocates in the same way as we would a barrister in the UK, the advocates charge fixed brief fees, and that would normally be based on how complicated the case is, but also based upon the quantum, the amounts in question. Now, what's interesting about UAE law is that if one litigates and one wins, there is an award for costs, but this is a nominal award of 5,000 or 6,000 dirhams, so the equivalent of about $1,500. There's advantages and disadvantages to this. Obviously, if you win, therefore you have to deduct the cost of your litigation, and you don't necessarily receive that back because, as I say, the costs award is fairly minimal. Of course, if you lose, then you're not faced with a large adverse costs award, which can cost tens, if not hundreds of thousands of pounds. So there's advantages and disadvantages of the costs award system here in the local court. Now, based on the judgment debt, interest is applied at 9% of the judgment debt, and interest starts to accrue at the date in which you first filed the claim at first instance. So when one makes one's assessment as to the validity of taking litigation, when I earlier said that one wasn't able to really recoup fees at a reasonable level, then the interest actually acts as an advantage and an incentive to pursue proceedings, because interest is fairly generous at 9% per year for the duration of the debt, of the proceedings from the date first filed. Thanks for listening. We're available. We're working full-time in the office, and you can take a look at our website on www.davidsoncollaw.com. Any queries, my profiles there, my colleagues' profiles are on the website. Please don't hesitate, send us a message, reach out. If you're passing through Dubai, definitely come and see us. We're all expatriates here, we're all guests in the country, and we all like to help each other out as much as possible. So thanks for listening.